Hello, everyone, and welcome back for week 2 of Fantasy Football Masterminds. That's right, we're officially changing our name because last week, let me introduce back from the flu,
Little Benda,
and his substitute last week, the Pittsburgh Steelers fan. We're going to put him permanently on the show so we can sit here and talk about Ravens, Steelers, and bust on each other. Joe Dub.
The Steelers are the best, period.
If you say so. It's going to be fun this year. All right. You ready to talk about our fantasy leagues that we did this week? Jeremy, how'd you do?
not good in one.
Yeah? How about in that one that has $900 payout, though?
Oh yeah, I was in the R&R Fantasy Football League and on ESPN, and I won. And if I win the whole thing, I win $900.
That's right, and you're called the 12-year-old stud.
Yeah.
Dub, how'd you do?
I'm ecstatic about my first week in your league.
Oh, yeah?
I ended up second overall in points, but I did beat my opponent, Chip, the Chipster himself.
All right, well, I'm in 6 leagues, and I won in 5 out of 6 leagues. Unfortunately, the one league I lost in, it happens in fantasy football. I got the one guy that blew up. I had the second most points in the league and still lost. So that's the way it goes. All right, you ready to get started with the injury report?
Yep.
Sounds
Okay,
good.
all right. Starting off, Kevin Walter, wide receiver, Houston Texans. Didn't play last week. He's going to play this week.
Anthony Gonzalez out for 2 through 6 weeks.
Postgate from Tennessee, he didn't practice. He's a game-time decision this week.
No Sean Moreno from your Denver Broncos. He looks good to play this week.
LT, he's wearing the boot. Sit him.
Donovan McNabb, he's got broken ribs. He's out 2 to 4 weeks. He could miss 2 to 4 weeks. I have a feeling Vic's going to be in. He's going to be bringing the dogs.
They might just call Lincoln Financial Field the dog pound.
They might. I don't know.
You never know. Okay, Pierre Thomas, New Orleans Saints, was out last week, but he's back this week. He's going to play.
Antonio Bryant, limited practices, and it was a game-time decision.
Matt Castle looked like he's going to be able to play this week. Hopefully he does, because Kansas City looked like crap.
I agree. They did look like crap, but look who they played, the Ravens.
That had nothing to do with it. Their quarterback was terrible. Actually, the whole team sucks. I'm not even going to put anything past it.
All right, well, you know what? A win's a win, and I'll take it. We're both 1-0. All right, it's time now to go to Clicks and Flicks. Clicks and Flicks. A click is a guy, not the obvious Adrian Peterson and Tom Pretty Boy Brady. Yes, put them in your lineup. These are guys that you go, well, you might not, and we're going to tell you who to start and who not to start. Okay. Go first.
I'll start this week. All right. Just because he flicked him last week, I'm going to go with Big Ben versus Chicago. Last week he chose to flick him, and well, look what he did. Look how he tore up Tennessee's defense.
Oh, yeah, he tore him up all right, yeah. How
They didn't rush him. It was his
How
fault.
many touchdown passes did he throw?
Honestly, I don't know.
How many interceptions did he throw?
That's a good point. I don't know, but he still tore him up.
Oh, yeah.
We won the game,
I don't
didn't we?
know.
We won the game, didn't we?
Heinz Ward isn't smiling, and just blew it.
Yeah, he did.
He almost blew it, but
He's not
they
smiling
didn't.
anymore.
Yeah, your kicker blew it. Rob Baronis, thank you very much. All right. Who are you starting at quarterback?
I am starting Matt Ryan versus Carolina's defense. They are terrible.
All right, it's time. I'm breaking it out right now. Out comes the hard hat, baby.
Nice bald head.
Thank you. Here's who you click for quarterback. Joe Flacco versus the San Diego Superchargers. The Chargers looked very suspect last week against the Oakland Raiders. Joe Flacco and the Ravens went for over 500 yards. You click Joe Flacco.
That was a disgrace of defense. You guys played a disgrace of a defense. That's all there was to it.
All right.
Oh.
Say so.
Joe Flacco is going to be a flick in my books.
All right, moving on to running back. 12-year-old stud, who's your running back that you click?
Darren McFadden,
Darren McFadden. Who's he going up against?
Kansas City.
Look, I just told you. You're going to go with McFadden versus Kansas City. I told you the defense. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, who are you starting at running back?
I'm going to start Fred Jackson versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Good choice. Now, here is an interesting click. Click Chester, Taylor, Minnesota Vikings, and I'll tell you why. They play the Detroit Kitty Cats. And I'm telling you now, Adrian Peterson will have over 200 yards in the first half, 3 touchdowns, we know.
That's all I need for my team.
Yeah, you're right. That's what you get when you pull that lucky number.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But look for the second half for Adrian Peterson to be on the bench, making sure he doesn't get hurt. Chester Taylor is, if you've got a guy that you think you might need to start, Chester Taylor. All right, wide receiver time. 12-year-old stud, who is your wide receiver?
Chad Ochocinco.
Ochocinco.
Yep, he's talking trash.
What's he going to do?
He's going to do a Lambeau leap.
First Green Bay. What a disgrace of a player. Honestly.
I want to see that.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see that.
That's going to be on YouTube.
Yeah, Chad Johnson, I can't say it, going up into the stands doing a Lambeau leap. Well, there's motivation for him to get fantasy points, right? Who's your wide receiver?
Mine's Bernard Berry, he's playing Detroit. I mean, he's the second receiver, but I have a feeling he's going to have a big game this week.
Okay. My wide receiver to click is T.O. Terrell Owens, and I'll tell you why. When I was driving down the road 2 days ago, I heard an interview, and it's starting already, folks. He was talking about his quarterback, Trent Edwards, saying that Trent needs to do a better job of looking downfield. It's starting. T.O.'s just very lightly starting to bust on him. So, Trent Edwards is now like Tony Romo last year. Oh, I got to throw to T.O. So look for T.O. to get at least 13 balls thrown his way. He didn't throw him under the bus, but guess what? He showed him where the bus is parked. Okay. Tight end, who you got, 12-year-old stud?
Got Dallas Clark. Peyton Manning, he only has Reggie Wayne to throw to, no Anthony Gonzalez. So if they double team Reggie Wayne, who else is he going to throw to? Dallas Clark.
There you go. All right, who you got?
I got Chris Cooley from Washington. He's playing in St. Louis. Campbell can't throw to anybody. Chris Cooley's the only one that gets open, so I'm going to go with Chris Cooley.
Last week, I flicked this guy.
That's because you're just
and
out there.
He got 2 touchdowns. New England Patriots tight end Ben Watson. Okay, he got 1 touchdown. Kneel down, but no. McKelvin has to come out of the end zone and fumble the ball and give Tom Brady the ball back, and he just throws the same play to Benjamin Watson. So this week, I'm going to drink the Kool-Aid and click Ben Watson versus the Jets, Jets. Time for defenses to click. 12-year-old stud, who you got?
I got Tennessee. They're versus Houston. Matt Schwab, he's, iffy. He's not looking too good. What about the injuries? So they're just going to shut down the running defense and I don't know about the passing.
Okay, who you got?
This week I have Green Bay versus the Bengals. Green Bay looked awesome last week. Bengals, they didn't look too hot at offense either. So I'm going to stick with Green Bay.
I'm going to take a real obvious choice here. The Minnesota Vikings, because they're versing the Detroit Kitty Cats. And believe me, Minnesota will make them kitty cats. So if you got Minnesota, by all means, play them. Time for flicks. Guys that you take and flick them to the bench. Guys, you don't drop them. You just put them there and let them sit there for this week because...
Collect some dust.
Yep, that's it. Collect some dust. 12-year-old son, what quarterback are you sitting on the bench?
The quarterback I picked in his league.
Yeah, you drafted him.
Matt Schwab versus the Tennessee Titans. Just a beast of a defense.
But Roethlisberger threw all over him. I don't understand that pick.
How many interceptions did he throw?
He threw all over him, though.
Well, how many did he? Like 2, I think?
He threw an interception, I know
He
that.
had 300-some yards.
He threw 1 touchdown pass up.
All right. He's
The
still
only
wrong.
why that they're just going to be passing because they have no running game.
They got no running game. We got a running game in Baltimore. All right.
Yeah.
What quarterback are you flicking, Dub?
I'm sticking with the Green Bay versus Bengals thing. Carson Palmer, he's got to play a tough Green Bay defense. I'm sitting Carson this week.
Speaking of the Green Bay defense, all that talk in the offseason, Jay Cutler, he didn't want to be there for Josh McDaniels. He wanted to